Star Wars Battlefront, the classic collection, a game that could not fail, and yet it has. If you have been hiding under a rock recently, Star Wars released a new game, Battlefront Classic Collection, and it is essentially, ostensibly, a re-release, a remake of the original two Battlefronts, Battlefront 1 and 2 from 2003, 2005. Some of the most cherished games that are very near dear to my heart and many others, and very nostalgic. Not to be conflated with the EA games, of course, which have their own issues and problems, but we'll not get into that here. But yeah, they've re-released them, and the whole shtick about it was that there would be multiplayer servers online, so everyone could play it. Because obviously the games are nearly 20 years old. In fact, the first one is over 20 years old, and many people wouldn't have been born, or would have been children, or just wouldn't have had access to the multiplayer if they did play the single player. So it was just a chance for everyone to play this amazing nostalgia trip, which, in my opinion, they are, especially Battlefront 2, is not only are they some of the best Star Wars games in terms of, like, they are the creme de la creme, they are some of the greatest games ever made. Like, from the 501st Legion in terms of the narration and that campaign, how even if it is short, it's amazing. And then the multiplayer is just, it's so fun. Like, these massive 64-player battles, it's Star Wars. You get all the good eras, Republic to Empire. Just, they are some of the best games. And they have these two games that are nigh on perfect, in my opinion at least. And they're re-releasing them with just multiplayer servers. Like, you think to yourself, how could they fuck this up? How could they mess this up? And somehow they have managed to do that. In fact, not only have they made them an absolute disaster of launch, they've actually, in my opinion, objectively, a bit of an oxymoron there, made them worse. But we'll get into that. When they first announced it, everyone was obviously, expectively hyped about these. They were really looking forward to these. And then the first issue was, I saw the price tag, 30 British quid. 30, I think it works out to just shy of $40. Very steep for a game re-releasing. But you whack a Star Wars label on anything and it'll sell like hotcakes, and this, for all intents and purposes, has, as far as I'm aware. I paid it, I pre-ordered it. I was more than willing and happy to pre-order it because of the memories I had and the dream I was sold of playing this game once again, but with multiplayer. Like, that is something that I just could not pass up on. But 30 quid, very steep from the offset. But we were promised great things, and you thought to yourself, how could they fuck this up? There's no way. They've got a perfect game. You just need to upscale the graphics slightly, maybe add in some multiplayer servers, and let people create their own. Bob's your uncle. If only it was that easy. Then the game released. And people realized it was 72 gigabytes. Which, when you think about it in that context of, this is just two re-releases of games that came out in the early 2000s, essentially at the turn of the century, that is ridiculous. That is beyond a joke. Like, 72 gigabytes for two games this old. And it doesn't help once you get in, and I can promise you that. You get into the game and the graphics, they don't look any different, to be honest. They've upscaled them slightly. I don't know who the fuck has upscaled them, because they don't know what they're doing. But they have upscaled them to HD graphics. They genuinely look identical. I don't know how they've managed. It's almost impressive how they've managed to make this game so big for what it is, because it is just shit. But yeah, 72 gigabytes. That was a fun thing to welcome after you just spent 30 quid on a re-release. But hey, you think, big game, big price tag, only good things, can't wait to play it. And then you download the game, you get in, the music's a bit funny, but it is what it is. You see the home screen and it's nostalgia, and it hooks you in, and the excitement builds. And then you go to play with your friends on the multiplayer servers, and you realize, there is only free servers. Yes, you heard that right. They launched the game as free servers. I've heard rumors that they thought they weren't expecting that many people, so they thought free servers would suffice. I think they need to give the head a rattle say the least. Free servers is beyond a joke for a game like this, for the price, for the size of the IP in terms of what Star Wars is. On launch, free servers, it's just bored. It's just not good enough. It really isn't good enough, and it really pisses you off when you spend all this money and you download the game and there are no servers. But, you know, you join the queue and you think maybe the server's down. And it takes a while, but you finally get in, and the game is just, it's just not good. It is disappointing, and it is beyond a joke. It is full of glitches that some were in the originals, but most of them aren't even in the original game. So they've somehow managed to objectively make the game worse by introducing new bugs that weren't in the originals. The servers are unstable. They kick you out, they crash after 1 or 2 games, and then you have to join the queue again. You can create your own servers, but that is an entirely different issue, where people can't join, people can join, but it kicks them out. They're quite difficult to set up in terms of picking the map. Some issues and glitches there. You can't select teams, which is just, you know, fundamental. You can't change teams. You can't do any of that. It crashes. You want to add new maps in, you've got to reset and do the whole thing again, which, you know, you've got unlimited time and patience. Perfect. But for an average person, it's just fucking, it is a joke. But yeah, the feedback has been, the reviews and feedback has been overwhelmingly negative, and it has very much warranted it. How you can justify charging people 30 quid for what is ostensibly like 2 games that came out in the early 2000s. They've somehow managed to quadruple the size of the game while making it worse. And the one thing that they promised in terms of multiplayer doesn't even work. If you can even get to it, and if you can get to it, it crashes. It doesn't work. So I don't understand what they're doing. And they've palmed it off. It's not EA. They've palmed it off to this third party like developer in Sweden or Scandinavia or somewhere. And like it was an easy job, but at the same time, it's like you've got to put the resources in, and they just haven't. And it's just been really pissed people off. And to be honest, I can understand that. And maybe it's something we deserve in terms of like recently the output in Star Wars IP has been atrocious. Like, let's just be real. Like, pre-ordering games, we saw it with Battlefront 1 and 2 from EA in 2015 and 2017. It was just, they are beyond a joke. I mean, what was it? The first one just had no content. And the second one was just filled with microtransactions and the whole controversy around that. They managed to turn it around, but then they stopped support for the game. So, you know, it just seems like they'll stick a Star Wars sticker on it and it'll sell like hotcakes, and they'll be done with it. But it's just a joke. Like, I'll put on something at some point of like trying to search through servers when I play with my friends, but there was just no servers. And then when we started our own servers, we just couldn't join, and when we did, it crashed or kicked people out. It's just, it really pisses you off, and people are very angry, and understandably so. I'm not angry, I'm just very disappointed. I don't see the point in getting angry at these things, because yeah, I have refunded the game, and I encourage you to do so if you have not already. If you haven't purchased the game, I would advise strongly of steering clear, at least for the time being, until they sort it out. I've been told that they will be. They shouldn't have to, but, you know, maybe they will, but it is beyond a joke, because some of the memories you have in this game, and it speaks to the core issue of they've taken this IP in Star Wars, and the things that they've put out have been less than stellar, and they've just used it as a cash cow, really, when you think about it, and it is a joke. It is a fucking joke. I'm not going to get angry. I've said I'm not going to get angry. I'm going to keep it nice and mellow, but fucking joke. It really is. I don't really know what they're going to do from here. Outside of the Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order series, it's just been miss after miss, unfortunately, with Star Wars games. It really pisses you off because you circle back to the original of these games, the original 2 that came out. They came out at like peak Star Wars games where they were just pumping out just hit after hit. There were so many good games, KOTOR, Star Wars, Jedi Academy. Like, there was, I can't name them off the top of my head, but there were so many good games. And people were so excited for this release of this classic titles, and they have stabbed people in the back, and they have pretty much lied to us, and it's just not on. But yeah, I don't normally do these type of videos, but I just felt like I had to get it off my chest without getting too angry. But yeah, I hope you enjoy my nonsensical rambling for God knows how long this is. If you are new around here, then feel free to tell me how I'm wrong. I am very much of the opinion that my opinions are awful, but they are my own. But yes, I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, see you around.